Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Imagineers Disney podcast. On this week's episode, we talk about the top Disney animatronics to ever exist in the parks. Do your favorites make our list? Stick around and find out. All that ahead on the Imagineers Disney podcast.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Imagineers Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm back. We're back. It's another week.
We're back with another week, another episode. I think this one's going to be fun. So,
yeah,
this can go a whole lot of ways, but we wanted to discuss our favorite Disney animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to leave the floor open to you. So leave a comment in the comment section, either on Facebook or YouTube, on what your favorite Disney animatronic is. And we'll see if it lands on our list and where it lands on our list.
Now, I have to ask, are you including things like when we saw that intro video, are you including like the Maleficent dragon? Like what, like different, is it anything that kind of moves on its own?
I don't know.
I just went with ride, like attraction animatronic.
Yeah,
okay.
I went with shows and attractions. So yeah.
Okay.
So the inspiration, at least for me this week, was the small mishap that happened in Epcot with the three caballeros on in the Epcot pavilion, and Jose may have had just a little bit too much tequila from La Cava, and he kind of fell over. And
that's 2020 in a picture. Sometimes you just have to fall over and just let Donald do the singing. It's too much.
They eventually removed him, and
there were somehow worse.
There were flowers.
Like he died?
Well, there was actually merchandise there before, and then it was just flowers, and now there's nothing. At least last time I checked.
It looks like a memorial.
Yeah, poor Jose.
Oh, that happens to the best of us.
Yeah, he's MIA at the moment, so. Oh boy.
Well,
we already have a comment. Mike, longtime listener, supporter.
Hey,
John from Carousel of Progress. So we'll see if John lands on the list.
John, like Jose, recently had a little moment recently from his return from break during the pandemic.
John has had some problems as of late, even before the parks closed. I mean, his hand fell off.
Someone climbed up on the stage,
right, and knocked over the butter churn.
Yeah.
Let's see what else has happened recently. And it happens a little bit more frequently from what I understand. Animatronics with their age and stuff, sometimes the movements can be a little jarring, and it actually messes with it. So, John will occasionally tap his foot while he's talking, and it wasn't a tap. It wound up being. Meanwhile, as my camera moves. So
he was mad about not being enough progress. I don't know.
Jonathan says his is
Ooh,
he's a big fan of the dog holding the keys on Pirates.
that is a great moment.
That is
Yes.
a great moment.
So iconic.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our list.
Okay.
So, Susie, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. Guys, I always get scared when we do lists because my lists just aren't as good as Matt's or as good as like 5 minutes after we record. I'm like, dang, why didn't I do whatever? So I try to do like overall just like quality of animatronic. I have a little bit in here that's, history and like Disney importance. But yeah, or how like integral important the animatronic is to the ride. So number 10 on my list is the Carnotaurus at the end of the dinosaur ride. Yeah, that guy. He's scary. I don't care who you are. There's just a lot going on right there at the end. And then there's the other one where it's like his head is right above you and you're going down like right at the end. But that part where it takes the picture, I tell you what, not only is it a great place to make really funny faces in your photo pass moment, but I just think that's a quality animatronic. I mean, he's big. It really conveys what the scene's trying to convey, which is dinosaurs are scary. So I like that one. I like Dinosaur. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's good.
Not my favorite ride, but yeah, that's a great moment, and there have been some great photos. And if you go right now, there's a chance you might have your own vehicle. So,
oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to do that.
I've seen photos of people or single people in the ride vehicle by themselves. So,
that ride's scary. I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah, Jonathan's not a.
It's a very effective animatronic. Yeah.
Yep, scares the kids, and then they never want to do it. So, yeah, okay. Well, my number 10, I am actually going to go where it all began with animatronics, and that is the Enchanted Tiki.
Yay!
So, the story is Walt came back from a trip, and he had like a little mechanical bird, and he went to his Imagineers, and he was like, "Hey, I want a show about this." And originally it was going to be like a dinner theater.
Yeah.
And it did not wind up that way. But
do you know one reason why it wouldn't have been quite so successful?
Well, the original idea with the live birds, obviously, you can't because they could poop in your food.
Well, people thought they were
real.
Yes.
Yes. So lifelike.
Well, okay. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, maybe, but
they still hold up. I enjoy going to the Tiki Room every once in a while and just watching the show. So yeah.
Well, then let me do my number 9 and get in on the Tiki Room love, because that is also on my list. I have it at number 9. The first animatronic to be synced up with sound, and it's very effective and it's fun, it's silly, but it's one of those places in Disney World they're never going to change or get rid of because of the historical importance. And it's really cool to do that and then go ride everything else around it and see how far animatronic, because there's a lot of animatronics in Adventureland of how far the technology's come.
Yeah, and they've tried changing it once, and I don't think it went over so well with Tiki Room under new management. Iago and Zazu. Yeah, so hopefully they'll just leave that alone. Do upgrades, subtle upgrades to tackle or whatever, but still kind of keep the general historical integrity.
Yeah. All right, well then what's number 9 on your list?
Number 9 on my list is actually one that is extinct. It is no longer around, but who knows? It's probably in storage somewhere where they could pull it out and put it back in the parks for guests because it was mobile. This was a mobile animatronic, and it was the Mobile Muppet Lab with Beaker and Dr. Bunsen. So
look at them.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. That must have been very limited. I don't remember seeing it.
It started, I feel like, in around 2007 and went
Okay.
through. Um, I think it stopped showing up a few years ago,
Okay.
but it sat on like a Segway chassis, and it like moved around some hidden remote control. Someone was controlling it. Same thing with the puppeteers.
Mhm.
And it had hidden microphones. It had confetti cannon and
Wow.
all that fun stuff. So it was just kind of fun thing. Much like Push the trash can from Tomorrowland, it would go around and interact with guests. So yeah, that's my number 9, Muppet Mobile
Aw.
Lab.
I wish I'd seen that. That's really cool. All right. Number 8. I don't have one in particular. It's just all of them because I love it and I'll get into it in a second. But my number 8 is an attraction or a show rather that is entirely animatronics. And it is the Hall of Presidents, you guys. You know I couldn't do a list without somehow sneaking the Hall of Presidents onto it because I love this show. I don't care what anyone says. I cry every time. No country's perfect. Our country's not perfect, but I still like it. But the detail, no one really knows like the dead presidents, like what their like mannerisms were or things, but you can see while they're talking, like they'll turn and like nod to each other, or they'll like move their arms, or nodding their heads. It's just like it's not eerie. It doesn't get into that weird what's that plane called where it gets into the uncanny valley, where you can still tell like is it an animatronic, but it's realistic enough that you're like, yeah, the presidents are all friends and we all love America. I just like the Hall of Presidents, and obviously there's a huge history with animatronics and Abraham Lincoln. You can't get away from that with from Disneyland. So that's just another also piece of Disney history.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating look at the U.S. presidency and its, kind of uniqueness and what
Yeah.
makes it unique. So, I mean, you walk in and it's not just animatronics talking. There
Yeah.
are 3
It's a
animatronics
show.
that talk. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and then the current sitting U.S. president has speaking lines typically. It wasn't always the case.
Mhm.
I think that started. I think it may have been Reagan, or maybe it was George Bush Sr. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. But that
I feel
it,
like it is Reagan.
it did not start with Nixon. It came
Yeah.
afterwards. I think it came in the early '90s. So I think it may have been Bush Sr. So, but yeah, it's a really fascinating look at the U.S. presidency. So yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. So
Christoph says, always love watching Hall of Presidents when I go as well. It's a must.
and it's a good 35 or 40-minute chill in the air conditioning.
Yep.
Can't beat that.
And, they try to upgrade it every time that obviously it has downtime. Every time that there is a new presidential election that elects a new president. So it had significant downtime this last time. And in addition to putting in a new president animatronic, they also upgraded, projectors and the sound and, the seating and everything. So
And it shows.
They spruce it up every time that it typically goes down. So, yep. So, okay, moving on. My number 8 is John.
Hey, there he is.
Carousel of Progress.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't zoom in so close to his face. Like, gets a little. He needs a little work done.
Yeah, they upgraded it in '94, so that I think they've added some little things in the last scene to kind of keep up. It really does need a little bit more.
No, okay. Have I not? I think I've mentioned it before, but if you guys haven't heard my theory on this, they should never update the last room unless it's like 20 years from now, in which case they should add another room. Because when you leave the last room, now you're in current day and you can see how much progress we've had. The real world is the last room of the Carousel of Progress. It's very meta. You guys gotta just like get up on my level.
I like that.
Yeah. So if the Imagineers need that as an excuse for not updating it, that's free.
Yeah, John has some problems, but hopefully that gets some love for the 50th anniversary.
I hope so.
Okay, moving on. So number
Okay.
7 for you.
Number 7 for me. I had a hard time choosing this one. There were two characters from Toy Story movies that I was going back and forth between, and I chose one. The one that I chose because he has another role in Disneyland where he is really good. But it's Mr. Potato Head. So there's a Mr. Potato Head in the queue for Toy Story Midway Mania, and then there is a Mr. Potato Head in Disneyland where he's a little bit more interactive, I believe.
Yes.
Look at him.
Yep. Yeah. There was. It's one of the features very similar to what they have in Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, where he will actually there's someone. There's a camera on Mr. Potato Head, and it can interact with guests. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's fun, and I like that it's in the queue. Because that is still a very I mean, right now lines are like 7 minutes long, but in general, it's a very popular ride, and he really breaks up the queue really well, and he's fun. I love Mr. Potato Head. I love his sarcasm. R.I.P. Don Rickles.
Yeah. Oh, Don. So yes, we all have a comment. John says, I'm going to go out on a limb that Matt has Country Bears in his top 3.
He's been paying attention. It's not on my list at all because I thought Matt was going to like fill up his entire like top 10 with the individual like.
Well, I almost started saying, well, my top 10 are Henry, Big Al, Liverwood, all the Bears. But they didn't make my top 3, but they did make number what number are we on? 7? Number 7.
Oh, okay.
The Country Bears made my list.
Oh,
but especially the big guy.
There he is.
My hero. So
Your hero.
My BFF, my Disney BFF. I mean, he gave me a churro once, so I mean.
Weren't you wearing a T-shirt with his face on it? That seems like a bribe.
Well, yeah, I wasn't expecting a churro, but I guess friends with benefits, right?
Oof, okay. All right, so talk us through what you like so much about the animatronics of Country Bears, because obviously the music is just like top level.
I mean, the animatronics, they're fun. They're fun caricatures. Henry has the raccoon hat that comes up for the Davy Crockett song at the end of the show. Trying to think, swinging teddy bear is a fun one. They're all fun in their own way. So yeah, there's
so much personality packed into the Country Bears.
For sure. I mean, it was known as Walt's Last Laugh. So when they wrote it, I mean, they did a good job. And I think for the most part, some would disagree, but I feel like the comedic elements of it some of them at least have been able to carry on to now. So I think that's why people still go to it. And in the past few times I've actually gone to go see the show, it's been pretty full. So
Good. We need to give the Country Bears the love it deserves, because I know Matt can't, but guys, we can't make it through another scare. Not another Woody's Roundup rumor. No, thank you.
Yeah, the marionette show. We'll see how that goes. All right, number 6 for you, Susie.
All right, moving on. Number 6, I have Lumiere from Enchanted Tales with Belle, and this is getting into the part of my list where I'm just overall effectiveness. This is such an amazing effect with this animatronic, with how he moves and the curtain and the light and his face. Like, he's just so lifelike and so, I don't know. It just really puts this, I guess, attraction show. I don't know what you'd really call it. Experience.
Yeah, it's kind of
over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a hybrid, I think. So it's really great for kids. I think that's one of the things that sticks out to me the most. It's a nice family attraction in Magic Kingdom. That's unique, and it's a character meet. I would imagine that, I don't know what they're doing with it right now. I don't know if it's open or not. I need to.
Point. I would think probably not.
Probably not. Just
Well, also,
because,
Bell aside, it's small, and so there's not a lot of room for
right.
social distancing in there. But yeah, Lumiere is just it's so good. That whole show has a lot of great little effects, and he's definitely worthy of being on the list.
Yep. Going back to the Country Bears just for a second, Danny said at least he has the animatronic Big Al and not the scary real life one.
I have been trying to get this to be our Friday night movie for so long. For so long, you guys. When we get to vote, when we get back to that, please flood our social media with requests to watch the Country Bears movie. It is such an amazing train wreck. I love it so much. Please. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's not good. So I would rather have the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown or the Christmas special come back to the parks. That would be good. All right, so you had Lumiere, number 6.
Yes.
Number 6 for me, and you briefly alluded to it earlier. I have Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, there he is. I was hoping he may get somewhere on his own.
Just because of the history behind this animatronic and how it came to be, what it was used for the World's Fair and the development of that technology. You have to understand when this debuted at the World's Fair, people thought it was a real person. I mean, Abraham Lincoln stands up out of the chair and then starts giving his monologue, and people were like throwing things at him. But he was really the springboard into again, Hall of Presidents and a new generation of animatronics. So I definitely felt that he belonged on the list for sure. So
yeah, definitely. I love seeing that section of One Man's Dream where it shows like the inside of what a Mr. Lincoln would have looked like, in Hollywood studios, and just how far we've come from that is just amazing. I tell you what, guys, Disney technology is just.
Oh, and this is a technology episode, so I mean the animatronics are just going to get better and better and better as we move on up our list. So we are in the top 5 now. So number 5 for you, Susie.
All right, number 5 for me. It's, I guess, all of the animatronics in this attraction, but one in particular in one moment I really like. It's Frozen Ever After. I probably will be corrected because I may be wrong, but this was probably the first full, at least, attraction with the projection faces. I think, or around that time where that really started happening. So the characters themselves, the bodies, the way they move, like it's so unique to each character, and obviously the faces are a little bit different. So it's kind of, well, Seven Dwarfs had it too. But it's a little bit different. But Olaf has this moment where he in the attraction is where he's skating on the ice. It's just, I don't know.
It's pretty cool.
It's good on its own, but the movements are very like specific to this character and his personality and how he actually moves in the film. I mean, he's not doing anything like crazy, but it's so cute. It's just, again, really effective, and his face is good. Look at Sven in the background. It's just a really, really lifelike, for a character based on an animation. Animated movie.
It's definitely not my favorite ride, but again, the tech, especially Olaf. I think if you were to pick one of the characters, one of the animatronics from this attraction, Olaf is the standout.
Yeah.
Just because the way that he moves, and again, you pointed out the skating scene that takes place. It's impressive. So
yeah,
good choice for number 5.
Thank you. What's yours?
Number 5 for me is kind of a group of things. I think you can I'm lumping them all kind of together because they're all impressive in their own way. Okay. But the cars in Cars Land.
Okay.
Especially Tow Mater. But as you're going through Radiator Springs racers, you come into contact with a lot of the cars from Cars. Mm-hmm. And they're just fun to look at, and it's brilliant technology. And we've seen that actually again put in place in Disney World with the Lightning McQueen stunt spectacular or whatever show that is, that little show near Rock and Roller Coaster. I can't remember the exact name, but it's the car show. It's the Lightning McQueen show. So it's a big open theater, and Lightning McQueen comes out and does the show. But not a great attraction, but the animatronic is impressive.
Yeah, definitely good choice. A lot of Pixar. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this before. My other one I was going back and forth between with Mr. Potato Head was the Buzz Lightyear in the Buzz Lightyear ride. I thought he was good.
Yeah, Space Rangers then. Yep.
I think that Pixar
blasters if you're in Disneyland.
I think Pixar characters there's like a nice simplicity to them in a different way that makes them really translate to animatronics well. So yeah, a lot of them on our list. All right, number four. All right, guys. Number 4 is on the list more so for what I know he's capable of doing. I believe in this character. I've seen it. I know you can do it. Yeti. You don't have to be the disco Yeti. You can actually move. You can
do terrifying.
So many things. Oh my gosh. If this animatronic were living up to his full potential, if he just believed in himself. Yeah, obviously he's not right now. He's not doing all those different movements and things to be as terrifying as he could be. He's just got a strobe light, but the technology and again, like what he can do is astounding.
Yeah, it's there's actually a really fun behind the scenes video. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube of the design of the Yeti, the original design, that what he was meant to do. And he worked for a little bit. I was actually able to see it before it broke. It did not last very long. So the Yeti is on this platform, and it actually moves. Like he moves a few inches, but and then would swipe at the oncoming car that you're in. And but the problem is that the amount of torque that the Yeti exerted when doing it, it actually shook the foundation that it's built on. The Yeti, you have to think of it kind of like in 3 pieces. So, or Expedition Everest.
Mm-hmm.
The Yeti sits on this giant pillar of concrete, and then the track is built around that, and then the mountain is over all of that. So it is a very complex web of engineering.
I mean, it's cutting the mountain open to get to him, and that's not going to happen.
To actually fix it, they would have to take apart the mountain and fix the problem. Who knows? Maybe that will happen one day. But
I mean, they were just closed for 3.5 months, and Joe Rohde was like, not happening. So,
well, you have to understand it's different being closed for 3 months, but they're also like bleeding money during that time. So,
well, what could we take money away from? We could lease the building that Figment is in.
Oh wow!
Wow. Anyway, the Yeti, he's not Yeti right now. But what it can do, the technology is there. It's just not, the system isn't perfected yet. But yeah.
Yes, and he is now known as Disco Yeti. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, he does not move. There are some fans that blow his hair, and there is a strobe light. So it gives the appearance that he is moving when he is actually not.
I guess, but
that was actually my number 4 as well. But I gotta have a special shout out to the Yeti's cousin, Harold.
Hey,
over in Disneyland at the Matterhorn bobsleds. So another mountain beast to the list. So
nice.
All right, number 3 for you, Susie.
Number 3, I'm so glad we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean earlier with the dog and the key scene. I absolutely adore that. But if we're talking about like an individual animatronic,
All of the Pirates animatronics are
they're all worth being near the top of the list. They have
iconic.
so
I think
yes.
each in their own individual way, they are iconic in themselves. So
Yeah, and these characters that you don't know their names, that you don't know their story, but they still have a personality that you can get from their little scene that they're in. It's just so good. But I have to call the Jack Sparrow animatronic out by itself because it is so freaking lifelike. And this is not a brand new animatronic. This guy's been there for a while. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I didn't even look up the years. Almost been a decade, maybe. Is that right? It's been a while.
soon after the movie, I think it's been a while.
And he's so lifelike that at one point in Disneyland, Johnny Depp made an appearance on the attraction. So, but he just the movement. This character has a very distinct personality and way of carrying himself that just the animatronic nails. They really, really knocked this one out of the park. And you can his facial expressions, his
mannerisms,
mannerisms.
So.
It's so good.
Yep. That's a good one for sure. And really, really all of the animatronics in Pirates, even ones that aren't there anymore, like the Auctioneer. The Auctioneer was groundbreaking when it came on, just with the amount of individual movements that it could do with the waist movement and arms and shoulders and joints. Just very very elaborate for that time. Then of course you have the prison scene with the dog and the 3 prisoners with the keys, and that's it's great. I love Pirates. It is a great example of what Disney can do in a ride with animatronics. So Carson actually commented and said, Susie always trying to get rid of Figment.
Look, I'm just offering financial solutions that make everyone happy. I just don't know Figment. I'm sorry.
Guys. Oh boy.
He's not on the list.
And then got another comment. Chris says, I thought there were multiple, not quite sure what.
Oh, Jack Sparrow's.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, where he appears throughout the whole. Yes, but they're all, all spot on. All of them. Just.
I think there are 3. I think there are 3 Jacks.
There's the one where he's around the
well.
And then he's like poking his head up in one.
In the barrel.
And then at the end, is there another one?
Yeah, the treasure room.
But that's the one at the end. But that's 3. I guess it's just 3.
Yep. So.
But they're all so good.
Danny, thanks for commenting and letting us know. 2006 is when we added Jack into Pirates. So
good. I remember thinking like this is like the future of animatronics, and without a doubt that issued ushered in a new era. Yeah, good ones. Yep. Number 3, Matt.
Number 3 for me, the one and only Hondo Ohnaka.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd get on someone's list because I have a different Star Wars one.
Right. I had to put him in here again just because we're seeing such a shift in quality with animatronics, I think in general, with Disney attractions, and they really went all out on this one. Just again, very elaborate. I think it's one of the highlights of the attraction. You go into, and it's a pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pre-show, and he'll talk to you, and it's comedic in Hondo's own way, and then you proceed to go and pilot the Falcon for one of his missions to go find some coaxium. But if you are a fan of the Clone Wars, go see that.
It's in Rebels too.
In Rebels, yes, Rebels as well. And so if you don't know who this character is, go check those shows out, and you'll be able to see him, and I think it helps better the experience of that attraction. So
yeah, because you get like Hondo's story, and Hondo is very over the top, and it translates perfectly to his character, his animatronic.
Yeah, Mike says, I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge yet, but I've seen videos on YouTube and Hondo looks so cool. And it really is.
So good.
Yeah, I remember seeing him for the first time. I'm like, that is so cool. So
Well, and unlike, these others, like obviously he's a animated character. And so there's a difference, in trying to make him like lifelike and fit in with our world to translate from the different kinds of animation from the shows into an animated or an automated, a character. Never mind. Words are hard. Animatronic. I'm tired.
all right.
Okay.
Number two. Down to our last two.
All right. So my number 2 is from the other Galaxy's Edge attraction, which is Rise of the Resistance. And really, I could say all of the animatronics in this attraction because they are just all so good. Of course, there's the original character, Lieutenant Beck, voiced by our friend James Arnold Taylor. Go look for that episode if you haven't listened before. We interview him. He's done so many voices, Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, and he's voices Lieutenant Beck. But probably the best one, I think, in my opinion, and I'm a little biased because I like this character, if you didn't know, is Kylo Ren in Rise of the Resistance. This animatronic... They just know. I love Kylo Ren / Ben Solo, but really it is so good. I'm really referring to, yes, this one. So if you're watching our video or if you're listening later, I'll describe it. There's a scene, if you haven't done the ride before, where Kylo Ren is using the Force to move your little car vehicle that you're in. And it's the timing is so amazing. They really get his like commanding presence, and then the door opens and there's the vacuum, and it's just, oh my gosh, he moves so lifelike, and the timing on all of it is impeccable when it's working. Occasionally it doesn't, but
have you seen B mode in that scene?
I haven't ridden B mode, but I've seen it on social media.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely better having the Kylo Ren animatronic working. I think both of them, both that one, obviously the one at the end is the more impressive one, but even the one with General Hux is pretty cool.
It's hard to tell when those are like video projection and when it's an animatronic, or it's so immersive.
That whole ride, and again, we've talked at length on multiple shows about how great it is. I cannot wait to get back on it. I've ridden it 3 times. So, yeah, if I can actually get a reservation into Hollywood Studios and then get a boarding group, it's totally worth it. But Kylo Ren is a big part of that attraction and what helps sell it. And it's great choice for number 2.
Thank you.
I am convinced. My number 2, and I'll say what it is in a second, but I don't know this for a fact.
Okay.
But I think it can be said that Disney recycles animatronics sometimes. I think they actually recycle another one inside Rise of the Resistance. I think they recycle the alien animatronic from the Great Movie Ride, Sigourney Weaver.
Okay. I was like, don't remember seeing the alien, but from the alien scene. Okay.
So the scene in the Great Movie Ride, Sigourney Weaver is like her back's up against the wall, and like she's holding her, I think it's a flamethrower, and Finn on Rise of the Resistance is in a very, very, very similar position in the Imperial, the Walker room. So like the giant hangar bay with those, and his back's up against the wall. And I'm like, I wonder if they reuse that. So, but that is not my choice. Not Finn or Sigourney Weaver. I think that Kylo Ren is a recycled Wicked Witch from maybe I don't know for sure, but again, some of the how fluid the movements are. And that's what's really impressive about the Wicked Witch. The other animatronics were okay and the Great Movie Ride, especially for their time. But the Wicked Witch animatronic was just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that she would like move her arms and like quickly turn and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think that the General Hux and Kylo animatronics, I think that Kylo may actually be the Wicked Witch, just the way that, again,
That he turns.
He turns. I'm like, I've seen that movement somewhere. So who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I like to think that the Wicked Witch lives on in Kylo Ren.
Aw. Cool. Well, then what's your number 2? Because you're like...
No, that was my number 2.
Oh, that was your number 2?
Yeah, the Wicked Witch. The Wicked Witch was my number 2.
Nice.
So we've come to our number 1s, and there is... Huh?
Do we have the same one?
I mean, I think we have to.
I think we do too.
I think currently it is the most impressive animatronic in any Disney park.
Yeah.
Maybe soon to change. That Spider-Man.
Oh, I know.
The Spider-Man one looks really cool. But I think right now, well, go ahead and say what your number 1 is, just to be sure.
It's the shaman from Navi River Journey.
Yep. Yes. Yep. That is also my number 1 as well.
Oh my gosh.
So the ride is not great.
Okay.
It's not bad.
The ride is visually stunning.
Yes.
But that is it. I don't know the story. I mean, I'm sure there's a story in some weird, like, we're all connected and whatever. It's nice to look. It's amazing to look at. But in terms of like a ride, it's very short and it's very like, you kind of get it after a while until you get to this end scene and there's a life-size Navi shaman waving her arms and singing. And again,
you're gonna sing the song for us
on me.
Yeah, you're gonna sing the song.
It's in that way. No, I'm not gonna do that. she's like doing all this stuff. That was humiliating. I love live shows. But no, it's really good. She has the benefit of being modeled after something again that doesn't look human-like. So I think that's easier to translate to an animatronic because human movements can get like a little particular.
So impressive, though. I mean, and again, technology-wise, that entire ride is impressive. Just the way that they use projection technology on like the animals in the trees that are like walking along the leaves, and you can see their footprints and everything. But then the finale with the shaman, with her singing, it's jaw dropping. Like it is so impressive. And if you've seen the movie Avatar, you understand that those creatures themselves, why did I forget the name of them? The Navi.
Yeah.
They're humongous. They're tall. They're huge.
Like 9 feet tall or something.
This isn't like a 5-foot animatronic. I mean, this is like an 8 or 9 foot.
I mean, this woman's wingspan is like the size of my house. That's not true, but it's huge. And yeah, she's moving all around, but it's very like controlled and fluid and super graceful.
And I think the color palette in that ride, it's in general, is just so vibrant and so beautiful. And it just meshes well with that animatronic in particular. So
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, very good. Well, there's our top 10. I think you have to have a couple of shout outs. I mean, obviously Hank, I forgot to get a picture of him. But over in Flight of Passage, the other Navi that's in the tank in the science lab, I think we have to throw in Stitch. Again, terrible attraction, but the animatronic was pretty cool.
Can we also then give an honorable mention to just Small World? I guess was animatronic.
Yeah. Okay.
They're beautiful. It's iconic. Movements aren't like super complex, but it gets the job done. If you love singing Dutch children and such.
Yes. And we have to give a shout out to our boy
Oh, there he is.
Buzzy.
Oh, Buzzy, come home.
Wherever you are, my friend, I hope you are
you're
well. If anyone has seen the boy, please contact the authorities or Disney and
Not us. We don't know
let
what to
them
do.
know where it is. So Buzzy's been missing for how long has he been missing now?
Crap, over a year?
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Buzzy was the main animatronic in Cranium Command, which was in the Wonders of Life Pavilion in Epcot, and it closed, a few years ago. And so Buzzy just kind of sat there, dormant, and someone went in and stole him.
I was gonna say too easily accessible for an attraction
Right.
that was closed. And
Yeah.
I think some of his clothes though showed up on
Yep.
the black market. So
Yeah. And so
he's around naked somewhere. You gotta help him.
someone, thief in the night, went in and stole Buzzy from his perch, leaving a pool of hydraulic fluid and just wires, and it's not pretty. But yeah, he's missing. So if anyone knows his whereabouts,
It's an inside job. All kinds of conspiracies, guys. Go look those up.
Oh, let's go back to the comments real quick.
All right.
So, all right, Danny. There's a lot of AAs that have maybe gotten recycled from Great Movie Ride. Jane face mold into Redhead. Yep, I would agree with that. Wicked Witch to Redhead. Yep. Wicked Witch to Kylo. Also, the AAs in Festival of the Lion King were from Remember the Magic. Oh yes, that is true. That is true.
What about that? I love the Lion King. That's a good one.
Yep. And Dave Dollar. I think this is David's first time joining us on a live show. I know his schedule is pretty crazy.
I don't know. I thought he said something sarcastic one time. Watching you, David.
But he says because the pics of all the old stuff in Epcot show that it's still there, I feel like it wouldn't be hard to steal stuff. Yeah, I agree. It's been way too easy to get in, but yeah. Anyway, well, that was fun.
That was fun. Gosh, I want to go to Disney. Oh well.
I'm actually going. I'm going Friday. I don't know if we're going to the parks yet on Saturday, but Friday we're going down. Just gonna kind of ease our way into the Disney bubble. We're gonna go eat at a resort, have a nice dinner, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. But
I hope y'all have a good time.
Yeah, I got all my masks in the mail actually today because I purchased a gator especially just for going to Disney, and then gators aren't allowed. So this is a travel tip for you, for anyone that is wanting to go down to the parks. You cannot wear gaiters. And I think they just banned the valved masks because...
Is that the N95? Is that what that one is?
No, not the, I don't think not the N90, like the official N95 ones, but like
another name.
The cotton masks that have like a filter attached to it.
Oh.
Because I believe those filter air coming in but not out, so you kind of
pointless.
It's pointless. So so yeah, they need to be I think at least the dual layer and cotton mask that's secure behind the ears. That's the big key. They have to either have the loops or secure snugly behind your head. So yep, so that's a little travel tip for you.
Did you get any pretty designs?
Nope, standard black. I was kind of in a hurry. I probably will visit an Etsy shop and or something to get some Disney themed ones, but these are the Amazon Prime next day delivery standard black. So
that'll do it. Gets the job done.
Yep. And all right. Well, this has been a really fun topic. I had a lot of fun. And it was interesting to seeing our list kind of side by side. We had some crossover a little bit, but
yeah, I don't think there wasn't a lot of conflict on this one.
No.
This was a safer top 10.
Yeah. So again, if you're listening to the audio of this, comment on social media what your favorite animatronic is. You can find us on social media. We are on Facebook, the Imagineers Disney Podcast. On Instagram, we are at _Imagineers. And then on Twitter, we're at Imagine_ears. And then you can also find us on YouTube. And of course, we have our Discord channel as well. And we also have a Patreon. So if you love the podcast, we have several members who have been listening to the podcast for a long time, and they have decided to join our Patreon group to help support the ongoing efforts for this show. And, we do a lot of great content for our patrons, in addition to the weekly audio podcast. And we have several tiers, all starting at $2 a month. So again, this is not required or anything, but if you have enjoyed listening to the podcast, we would love your support. And if you haven't subscribed, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and really just any podcast platform that you listen to your podcast on your iPhone or Android device. You can find us. And so we are looking forward to coming back at you next week with another great episode. And until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.